join us.
At what?
So that we can share for others who were not being able to join us. Mr. John Ekemode, any chance you are on the Zoom? I'm scrolling through and I do not see you. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining today. This is our first quarterly webinar. The idea behind this is capacity building, sharing knowledge within members of the alumni, and networking. Our goal will be to try so much to do this on a quarterly basis, that is once every 3 months. We'll try and schedule this ahead of time and also take feedback from you on each session and what other topics you might want to hear about, listen to in the next sessions. I will hand over to the president to give opening remarks, and then I will do a brief intro of the speakers, and then we'll kick right into the webinar. Mr. President, sir.
Why don't you run through the agenda for today and give us an expected time frame?
Oh, yeah, okay. So the agenda for the day is pretty simple and straightforward. Opening remarks of the president, introduction of the speakers by myself, and then the first topic will be by Patrician Femi Akinwale, just about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll take some brief questions on that topic before we move into topic 2 by Patrician Toyin Fajinmi, which will be another 20, 25 minutes. And then we'll have questions the last 30 minutes or so with a vote of thanks by the Welfare Secretary. So this is a program geared towards the welfare of our members directly. So with that said, I will hand over to Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Let me start on a briefly personal note. Dr. Fajinmi, are you related to Bros Fajinmi that lived at Oduono, who also attended St. Patrick's?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
Is he from Ikiridi, sir?
But he was my senior.
Okay.
He was my senior, and we were a bit friendly, sir. But he visit Leone ni Anthony Fajimi, I think that's his name. No, no.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
No,
anyway,
sir.
Good evening, great patricians. I hope we are all having a restful weekend, and that's why we're able to create time for this. And it gives me immense joy that we are starting this webinar series that we directly benefit members of the Alumni Association. While it is generally agreed that the primary focus of an alumni association is to seek ways of supporting our alma mater, over the years, the Alumni Association has made significant contributions in this area, and we appreciate each of you for your various efforts and donations to the school. But the association should not ignore the needs of its members. After all, it is when the members are doing well economically and they are in good health that they will be able to organize and mobilize resources for their old school. In my almost 4 years of experience as an executive member of the National Alumni Body, there are 2 types of requests that we often receive from our members. One is financial assistance, and 2 is health support, especially when those health needs or challenges get to critical stages. To start addressing these challenges, we have constituted a welfare committee to suggest ways of assisting our members and make recommendations on how to finance those suggestions. We are awaiting the committee's report, following which the NEC will make some pronouncements. As that Chinese adage goes, let's teach a man how to fish and do not throw fish at him. we felt we should introduce a webinar series like this to encourage ourselves and throw up ideas of what can be done to empower our members. We believe that as ideas begin to flow, networking will emerge to promote them, potentially lifting some of our members out of financial hardship. We also feel that as many of us advance in age, we are often too busy to consult medical personnel on general health challenges. In the past 4 years, the association has lost scores of its members. We don't want this trend to continue, and therefore we want to offer free medical consultations in a very relaxed environment. The beauty of today's program is that the two speakers are members of our old students association. Through this webinar series, we aim to identify and utilize the abundant resources available among our alumni. Additionally, we want more professionals to connect with the Alumni Association and their former school. On this note, I wish us an enjoyable, informative, and beneficial evening together. And I thank you all for your participation and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome.
Yeah. So, like the president has
Thank you, sir.
we will have two topics today based on the two areas we're trying to address. One, personal and health welfare, as well as indeed welfare of our individual pockets by throwing out innovative ideas that one can explore and hopefully can also ginger networking in those specific areas. So our first speaker is Dr. Femi Akinwale, MSc, PhD, who is the director and founder of FDH AgroVet Nigeria Limited, a veterinary pharmaceutical marketing company based in Ibadan. Their focus is based on product development and sourcing high-quality veterinary products for the Nigerian markets. He's a proud alumnus of St. Patrick's Grammar School, Ibadan. I won't tell you his nickname when we were in Spaco. He was my very good schoolmate. We're very grateful that he's taking time out of his busy schedule to share insights and experiences with us. On that note, I would like Dr. Femi Akinwale is already sharing a slide for us to review. Quick time check. I know this 20 minutes is a short period, but so that we don't lose concentration span, if you could please stick to that 20-25 minutes max. Dr. Akinwale.
Yes. Thank you very much, Lawal. I greet every participant online, and I welcome everyone to this special occasions of the first webinar of SPACO. As been introduced, the topic we'll be looking into is on a sustainable business investment in Nigeria, which has to do with the pigs breeding. And because of the time that is allotted to me, I'm going to just summarize the area of business investment that many people are not actually focusing upon. And there are some areas I'm going to just left out, but I will focus on the area of breeding that can actually be of financial advantage to every members of the alumni. My introduction. In the Guardian newspaper on the 20th of March 2024 by Safodat Muritala, the demand for the pork meat has increased tremendously in the last few months as more Nigerians are shifting their focus to this particular meat as an alternative to beef. Market surveys indicate that its demand has increased substantially in major cities across the country, boosting the industry growth, sales, and demand of the meat. Based on the high patronage it has enjoyed within the shortest time, the price of a kilogram of the meat previously sold about 1,600 naira has jumped to naira. According to the stakeholder, the development has increased the income of pig farmers. It has also encouraged new entrants into the business, which has large market within and outside the country. The Food and Agriculture Organizations recently projected pork consumption to increase by 3.3% in Africa, including Nigeria, by the year 2050. But despite the potential the business owed, the farmer in Nigeria seem handicapped due to the array of challenges, which include the lack of information, ignorance on disease control mechanism, high cost of feed, and others, which have hampered its growth over the years. A pork dealer that is based in Badagry, Lagos, states that Emeka Uchuku Aniobi, he confirmed that he has been experiencing good patronage for pork meat. However, lamented that for 1 week, he has been unable to get the pig supply, which has affected availability of pork meat for his customer. When we look into Nigeria, where are the areas where we are having most concentrations of pig farmer? We are having it in Kafasha, which is in Kaduna State, Sapele, Warri in Southwest, in Port Harcourt, and in Calabar. Now, there is one that is very good for us to consider. There is a place we call Okearo Cooperative Farmers, which is a boundary between Ogun State and Lagos State, and that is where we are having the largest concentrations of pig farmers in West Africa, and it is housing 3,000 cooperative pig farmers. And we have a lot of farmers concentrated there, and where they are doing a lot of different type of breeding. So now, I will want to quickly look into the breeds of the pigs. First and foremost, we have the white pigs, the large white, and this particular large white, it grows rapidly and it is adaptable to our own temperatures. Then we have a Duroc breed. This one is having this kind of a brownish up color. And one thing that is peculiar about it is that it is very juicy and it is very flavorful, and the meat is very tender. Then we have the large black. The only thing important about the large black is that it has a lean meat, but it is not as good for production like the Duroc and like the large white, because after the processing of the meat, there is always a pigmentation on the meat because of the black color. Now, going to the last one, which is the land race. This is a very important breed. This particular breed is always very long. It has a high level of carcass, and it is good for farrowing. If you look at the teeth, it has a lot of milk, and it used to give birth to a lot of pigs. And most of the people use this particular one in their breeding procedure in order to have much pigs to cross with the male. Now, I want to quickly run over the characteristics of pigs. Pigs are most tolerant to cold than heat. Pigs are most prolific. This means they have a large number of offspring per litter, and they can breed throughout the year. You can breed pigs for almost 3 times in a year, and each pig can give up to around 15 pigs per year. And if they give birth for 3 times in a year, that means you are sure of a pigs in a year to give you almost 45 piglets in a year. And that is why we talk about the prolificacy of the pigs. A female pig typically gives birth at 12 to 30 piglets per litter. It is one of the fastest growing animal protein sources that can move the country out of low nutritional level. Pigs can utilize farm residues, agro-industrial waste, conventional feed, and household waste. Pigs are characterized with fat deposition. However, the type of the fat that is deposited is a function of the feed that you are giving to them. Nigeria is located in the tropics where temperature is very high and humidity is very low. Therefore, pig will face heat stress. Additional water source for shower and water system is needed during the hot season. Pigs are always weaned at 8 weeks. Weaned means that to remove the young one from the mother, it is at 8 weeks. But when you remove the young one from the mother at 8 weeks, and to the person that removed his own at 6 weeks, the person that removed his own young one at 6 weeks, it will make the animal to quickly come on it again. While the person that removed his own offspring from the mother at 8 weeks, we have a late period for the animal to come on it again. So the time that the animal is going to come on it is a factor of when you remove the mother, when you remove the offspring from the mother. So it is ideal to wean it as early as 6 weeks of age. The gestation period, that means the time the pig is going to get pregnant, is between 112 days to 115 days. And the female pig will mature at 7 months for mating, between 60 to 70 kg body weight. And the female always come to eat in every 21 days. Good feeding and management induces it and make them larger litter size. Males should not be used for mating earlier than 8 months of age. This means that you must allow the males to be 8 months of age before you start to be using them for crossing. A young male can service up to 15 to 20 female, and you have to give good access to a lot of drinking water, and you have to allow for at least triple of the breeding space for future expansion. And in this particular place, what I mean is that when you are having about 5 pigs or 7 pigs, and if you are going to be reproducing and be expanding, you must be able to have ×3 of the space that you have on ground presently. Now, breeding care for the piglet, I'm going to leave that one because of our time. Care for the piglet, I will leave that one. Let me just quickly go to the areas of interest, which is going to be of financial help for us. There are 3 types of breeding methods in a pig management. We have inbreeding, we have crossbreeding, and we have pure line breeding. And most of the local people, they don't care. They use the inbreeding. But the most important one that is important for us is number B and number C, which is crossbreeding and pure line breeding. Now, let me go into each one of them for us to quickly know about them. When we talk about the inbreeding means that we are mating the animals that are closely related, like the son mating with the mother, like the father mating with the daughter. So that is mating a pig that is of his own sibling. This particular method is not good. And when anybody on his own farm, when they practice this kind of thing, it has a disadvantage. And the disadvantage is that genetically, it has been discovered that there are some things we call the recessive genes. The recessive genes, it circulates in what we call the inbreeding. So when you have the animal and you don't control which one cross another one, you'll be having a lot of diseases. The animal will not grow very well because the person is replicating the recessive gene, which is the one that is causing the diseases and the slow growth. So you must not use animals that are closely related. Now, look at what I'm saying here. This is the male and this is the female. You can see their chromosome, you can see their gene. So when they cross these together, the probability is like 50-50%. It's going to have AB, which are the good genes coming together. That is a good pig. But the other genes that are not good, but they have combined together because it's using animals that are closely related. You can see it. The other pig will be diseased, that will be poor growth. So if the person has about 50 animals, you will discover that 25 are doing very well, 25 are not doing very well. So inbreeding is not good.
No way.
Now, I'm going into the area of the crossbreeding. This involves when you make the animal individual pig from different breeds that are not closely related to introduce a new genetic combination, which will lead to improved performance in the offspring.
I was having an international phone call.
You are disturbing us.
This involves mating individual pigs from different breeds that are not closely related. So this one is different from inbreeding. In this one, if you have a duroc, on the farm, and you have the large white on the farm, that is a good breeding. When you breed them together, that means you are bringing genes from different sources. You are pulling this together, and it's going to have an advantage on your breeding. And let us look at the advantages. Now, you can see it here now. The genotype AA and the genotype BB, when they come together, at the end of the day, it gives us a very good pigs. What are the characteristics of those good breeds when you do the crossbreeding? The first one, we used to call it heterosis. Heterosis means that there is improved performance of offsprings compared to their parents. I'm going to explain these ones to us later on. Then the second one is that when you do crossbreeding, there will be resistance to disease. You will have a good height above the parent. You will have a very good color, and you have the mixed texture is going to be okay. Now, what I call the advantage of the crossbreeding. Let us look at this particular picture I'm showing to us. The advantage of the crossbreeding can be seen in these particular pictures. Look at the male. The male, let's say the male that is Duroc breed is 80 kg. And the female that is large white is 65 kg. When you cross them together, the average weight of the mother and the father is 72.5. But by the time the piglet grows up to about 4 months, 5 months, at the same time of the same mother, if you want to look at the same thing, the average weight of the offspring would be higher than the average weight of the mother. And this is why we call it performance above the average. You can see now, at the end of the day, instead for the offspring to also have 72.5, at the same time per period, you are seeing 85. The reason is that when you put two different genes together, there is an improved performance. The animal will be much bigger, there will not be disease, and you will not, the texture of the animal will be okay. And that is what we call heterosis. Now, I want us to look at this area. This is very, very important for us. Big pure line breeding. For many of us that may not have a large space of land, for many of us that may not want to go into a large scale, but you want to be having a regular income every month or every 4 months or every 5 months, I will put some of the concentration on this area. What I mean by the pure line is that you only decide that I will be crossing only the pure line for people to come and be collecting for breeding. That means if you want it, you have a pure line for Duroc separately. You have a pure line. This is not a crossbreeding. You have a pure line also for Duroc. You are not mixing them together. So when you have a pure line, that means you are keeping the genetic component of that animal intact. And availability of this pure line pig is very, very low in the country now. And the price for piglets, you will be surprised, is very, very high. And many people used to import this particular breed from abroad, either from South Africa, in order maybe 3 or 4 or 5 in number. But the most important thing is that you will decide, am I producing only large white? Am I producing only Duroc? Am I producing Duroc and large white separately? Am I producing only land race? So you can have about 2 or 3 pure line. And people that want to start their farm, they will come for the pure line. And the price for the pure line pigs is very, very high. I'm going to give us the prices. Now, look at what I'm talking about. This is the large white. The male is large white. The female also is large white. So when you cross them together, what you are doing is that you are still concentrating the line together. You are not polluting the line. You are not. So anybody that wants to start his farm can always source from your hand. Now, the advantage of the pure line is to concentrate the desired character in the breeding line. The litter size population, the growth of the animal. And when the people comes and they know you really have the pure line, any amount you call it for them, they are ready to pay for it. The economy of peace will be discussed under the 2 headings: pure line breeding, 10 females. Let's imagine now that you have a pure line breeding. You want to go into pure line breeding, you have 10 female, and you have 1 male, and they are 7 months. Then let's say you want to go into cross breeding, and you have 10 female, and you have 1 male at the age of 7 months. Let's quickly look at them one by one. I do a little breakdown. At a puberty age, which is 8 months, The value at the puberty age for the pure line, you can see at 8 months is 300,000 for the pure line. But if you want to buy the same animal of crossbreeding, it's going to be around maybe 100,000 naira. But you can see some people can even say that for 350, 400 because it is not always available. Now, first litter size at 11 months per animal. Let's say for the first time the animal is giving birth, is give birth to 10 piglets. Expected piglet from 10 females is going to be 10 times 10, which is, that means you are having 100 piglets, which is within 115 days. The animal give birth to 100 piglets on the farm. Now, expected sales of pure line piglet at 6 weeks. If you are going to sell this particular pure line is sold for 200,000. So if you are having of 100 piglet for 10 female, we are talking about 200,000 times 100, which is just 20 million naira. Now, when you, at that particular time, the animal must be around that 10 months of age, or maybe around, go to around 11 months. If you start to be crossing the animal around 7 months, and then by around that 10 months, they are already off giving birth. Now, the ratio of the expenses of the female till 10 months to the ratio of profit margin you are going to make is ratio 40 to 60%. And at that particular point in time, I'm not looking into the cost of the animal because the animal will still continue to be giving you piglet over and over. We are only looking into your expenses of feed, settlement of the staff, and labor on the farm. Estimated profit margin at 10 months is going to be 60 over 100 multiplied by 20 million. So on average, if you are keeping a pure line and you have 10 animals, you must be expecting around 12 million as a minimum. And then presently, many people go as far as to the east to look for who is having all with the pure line. And if you also have an access to the quarantine office in Nigeria, you need to take a permissions from them, a request that you want to import a pure line pigs from abroad. When they give you a permit, you will send this particular permit to the companies either in Germany, either in South Africa. They will now send this together with the other document with the pigs, and that is when you can be able to bring in those particular pure line into the country. But the most important thing is that when you are bringing it, the supplier will give you male line separately. They will give you female line that are not closely related separately. And with that one, you can have 2 or 3 animals. You don't need to have large stock. So for people that want to do with the line breeding, you don't need to create a large farm. No, you can always have 4 or 5 animals, and people will be coming as they are giving birth every 6 weeks, 8 weeks. When the piglet is 6 weeks to 8 weeks, you are going to give it out to people. They will come on it again. You will mate them again. You will sell again. This one will not require much expanse of land. This one will not require much labor. This one will not require much effort. And the family members can easily take care of it. And it's going to bring in a lot of money into the purse of the family. Now, when we talk about the crossbreeding now is that you are diversified into the multiple commercial operation. That means you are selling the piglet, you are selling the growers, you are selling the one that let's say the option here, the sales of the grower is at 50 to 55 kg of weight of breeding, and each animal is 2,500 naira per kg presently. So option B, you can decide to sell the winners. Now, when you sell this particular winners, you can look at the amount, 50,000 per winners. But if you want to sell the one for the pure line, you can sell for 300,000. So people that buy these winners from you, they can use this as a crossbreeding also on their own farm. But they cannot use this as a pure line. So that is the difference between the pure line and the person that is doing the crossbreeding. Now, option C, the sale of the fatteners at 90 to 100 kg. You can feed the animal to 90 to 100 kg. And if you have any males that is among them that you don't need, you can castrate them. And that will make them to quickly put on the weight. And you can sell them at 2,500 naira per kg. kg, while in some places in Lagos, they sell up to 2,700 naira per kg. Then option D, you can slaughter and you can sell per kg. But you must not slaughter animal that is less than 65 kg. And the reason is that between at that particular age, the quantity of the intestine before 65 kg, the quantity of intestine is higher than the quantity of meat. So for anybody that wants to be slaughter his pigs around that 50 to 65 kg, it will not make much profit. Before you can slaughter a pig, you must let it be above 65 kg. Above 65 kg, there will be a lot of carcass and less intestine. The larger the animal is growing, the smaller the intestine to the quality of the carcass in the body. This breeding system allows for multiple sales transactions on the farm. It needs much capital and much space to keep the animal for expansion. The cost of operation is very high. The profit ratio to expenses of the animal is also 40 to 50%. Now, looking at the pig outcome pattern, you can look at it. These are growers. When you want to have the grower, you keep them in groups. And if you don't need to keep a lot of male on the farm. So when the male reach around 6 to 8 weeks, you castrate them. And you only keep one male pigs for 10 or 15 female on the farm. This is another pig housing pattern. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akinwale. Apologies that we put you on such a time constraint to get that delivered. But I learned a couple of things really quickly there, especially the Naira figure of how much you can sell a pig. I don't know if there are any questions. We'll just take questions for like quick 5 minutes, if there are any. If you would like to ask a question, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
My VP, I'd like to ask my own question.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, our speaker. Within a short time, you have been able to do justice to your paper, and we appreciate you for this. I am a bit familiar with the Okearo pig farms. I have some 2 or 3 members of my church who have what they call, is it pent in that location. But they have suffered huge losses due to what they call, number one, flu. There was spine something, I don't know what they call it. You know,
African swine fever.
It will come and they will lose their pigs, just like that. And then sometimes they also complain about theft. These are risk factors in this piggery business. What would be your suggestions or advice for anybody going into that area? Because that really scares me. Each time they lose money like that, some of them will almost threaten that they will not go back. But they tell me that, okay, but when you have 1 pig, may give back to 6 or 7, I don't know what they call their...
Piglets, yeah. Yes, I got your. Let me just quickly, because I am very familiar with them, and I think last year our company actually have a seminar in Ibadan here with all of them, and their president also come over down. And I think one of the problem over there is that they are congested together, 3,000 farmers. Where somebody is keeping his own biosecurity, the other person will not keep his own biosecurity. Where somebody is taking care of the animal, the other person will not take care of his animal, and that is how the disease spread. But when you look at other segment part of the countries where people just only you alone having your pigs in a separate place, you don't allow anybody to come up over. But we are talking about 3,000 farmers in the same place together. And it is not always, some are very hygienic, some are not very hygienic. So, and that one created up a lot of problem. That is number one. Then number two, last year, we introduced to them a vaccine. That we have a vaccine now for African swine fever vaccines, and we launch it in the country, and the president also come over. And people that tested the vaccine, they don't have any issues at all. But because of Nigerian, the way we do, the Ministry of Agric and some other people, they said they need to do some special meetings, some special consideration again like that. While NAFDAC gave us their support. So, but underneath, people are fascinating their animal, and the animal is doing very, very well. So I can assure you there's no any problems about it. And then apart from that, we have been able to get a immunodiagnostic kit. This immunodiagnostic kit, when you want to get any animal, you can only just put some of the sample, either the sputum from the pigs on that thing, and it will show you within 10 minutes if that pig is having any problem at all. So these are some of the prevention. So these are some of the prevention that is needed. But the most important thing is to keep the biosecurity, and the animal will be okay. There are many people that are doing the piggery farm and they have not have any issue. But imagine some people, they will pack the feces of the animal, they will go and dump it close to where the animal is. And when you look at it, it is when there is rain that this particular problem used to come in. So the rain will wash this particular ferrous inside the feces back to where the pen is. And most of the time, the attendant will go and step on it. They will now come inside into the pen house again. So that is the cause of that problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Shogo.
Yes, I've actually typed it, but since it was not responded to, that's why I needed to ask. Yes, how do you, when it comes to pig breeding, there are some areas where some beliefs in religion are advanced to pig breeding. For instance, like Ilorin, Kwara State, the Islamic religion there is somehow advanced to breeding pigs. In such an area, how do you manage such beliefs? Thinking about your investment in that direction. If you want to invest in that direction and you are living in an area where they are religiously advanced to pig breeding, how do you manage it? That's the basic question I want to ask. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I think the best thing to be done is that when you don't do it in their locality, close to their locality, where there are communities, and it has to be far away. And when you look up at Ilorin, the outskirts of Ilorin, that you can do this thing, and there's a vast area of land that one can do it. And so, and I don't think that one will create any problem. It is when you want to do it, you cannot do it the way you do it in the Southwest here, when you do it very close to the community and all those sort of things like that. So, but in Ilorin, because of their belief, the Islamic belief, you cannot do it close to the community. You can just at least maybe around 1 hour's drive, 30 minutes drive away from the locality. I think that would be okay.
Thank you very much, sir. And sorry, sir, another question. I hope we are going to have this slide that you used for this training. I hope you are going to make it available to us. And
yes, it's already.
I hope this is recorded.
It's already with the FIP, sir.
Yes, we will share that slide.
Please,
okay,
Vice President.
Hello, sir.
Vice President.
So I also have a question. I'm raising up my hand.
So
Am
Mr. Shogo, I've seen your hand up before. We'll take your question really quickly, and then Mr. Oyelami will take you next.
Okay.
And then we'll take those two questions, and then we will let the next speaker speak, and then we can take additional questions after. Right? So, Mr. Shogo,
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So my question is that I understand most of the people that do this kind of business, they go into the bush. And my question is that, is there a way that one can do it in his own small, maybe small compound, even if it is not in a large scale? Is there a way that one can do it in his compound that it won't really disturb or affect the environment? Thank you.
Yes, very well, you can do. There are some products we use for the poultry breeding that you can also use also for the pigs. And what it does is that it does not allow the ammonia, which is from the manure, to come out. What you need to do is to spread it. We call it, it's a product that you spread on the litters. And what it does is that it will absorb the moisture. It will not allow the ammonia to be evolving out. So when you do this kind of thing, people around your area will not know that you are even raising up an animal. And we call it MS dry care. MS dry care. So what it does is from Netherlands. On the litter of the animal on their floor, you just spread the product on it. The animal will like on it. And the only thing is that on their urine, on their fecal sample, on anything, the odor will not come out.
Oh, yeah. Sarah, sit down well.
Thank you, Dr. Akinwale. I appreciate that. Mr. Oyelami, you had a question. If you can ask really quickly.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Vice President. Thank you, Dr. Akinwale, for elaborating the integrity of this piggery family to us. Please, I just want to know, like, in terms of finance for a starter who want to start this kind of business, like how much should one get before one can venture into the piggery, considering the fact that the person has gotten a place to house them, and so what is how can we start in a small way?
It depends on the type of the breeding you want to go into. Either if you are going into the inbreeding, into the pure breeding, which does not need a large quantity, or either you are going into the cross breeding, or either any one of them that you are picking. I will suggest that at least, apart from pay, you have already gotten the 2 or 3 or 4 rooms housing that you are partitioned. I think one should be able to have something around 2 million naira. Because when you have the 2 million naira, let's say you want to start with 3 lines, 2 lines rather, 2 lines of pure line. And if the seller is going to sell the pure line for you for a female is 350,000 naira for one, and the second breed another 350,000 naira, that is 700,000. And if you are going to buy the male, because you have to buy the separate male of the same pure line, and that means around another 700,000. That is 1.4 million. So, and they are feeding. The most important thing about them is just that you can easily manage their feeding because it is not much. But by the time they give birth, you know that you can always calculate the huge amount of money that you are going to bring because you are doing pure breeding, pure line breeding, and people will know you for it, and they will come for it. And that one does not need a large area of land. So if the thing has now grown and you want to expand, you can go and get a large area of land, and you can do different pure line. You can do also separate crossbreeding separately.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that response. In the interest of time, I know there are probably other questions. If you can save your questions till our next session is done, we can still take additional questions. Dr. Akinwale, please stick around. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Femi.
Our next speaker will be speaking on a very, very important topic. I would want to say actually a foundational topic around how to manage our health as we progressively get older. Dr. Toyin Fajinmi is a seasoned clinician with over 2 decades of experience, clinical leadership and training experience in providing health promotion and interdisciplinary care team development. He has worked as a clinical manager in various capacities, a director of clinical development and executive. He is also a U.S. military veteran. He's currently based in the Washington, D.C. area. He's a published author. He's a current academic professor of nursing and allied health at the University of Drexel in Philadelphia. So quite a hefty resume. We look forward to learning so much from him today. Dr. Fajinmi, I'll hand over the mic to you now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone. and to all the great patricians. I'm grateful for the privilege to be here to speak to my great and wonderful patricians. It is, and I don't take it for granted. To all the planners, the executives, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak before you all. So, when we talk about prioritizing health and wellness in our 50s, we're actually talking about making our own health a priority. So, that's what it means. We're making it a priority when we're in our 50s. I believe this should have started before we get to our 50s, but if we haven't started long time ago, this is the time to start. So I'm going to ask each and every one of us a rhetorical question. How many people, how many of us, just know within your heart, have gone to the doctors without being sick and just say, I want to check myself out and I don't care how much it's going to cost me, to do my blood work and do all the assessment, and I just want to make sure I am okay. So if you're one of those who haven't gone to the doctors in a few years, except when you have malaria or you're sick, you're not alone. Because most of us, even in Western world, where we have health insurances, and also our health insurance will even pay for it, we don't even do that. I'm sorry, we don't even do that. So this is the time we're just going to learn together and see how we can get better. So, wait a minute. Now I'm trying to see how to. Now this technology is a little big for me. Let me see.
Moving to the next slide.
Yes, I'm trying to move to the next slide, but it's not moving. Okay. Let me. Okay, good. We're going to talk about the self-care and the physical health. So let's ask another question. How do we rejuvenate ourselves? A lot of us, we go to work every day. We come back, most of especially those who live, even those of us who live in the Western world, we do that. We wake up in the morning, we go to work, and we come back. Those in Nigeria are even better, because we move from vehicle to vehicle, from our house to the vehicle, from the vehicle to the office, and we're back. So we're very, very bad in that aspect, whereby those who live in Nigeria, they get up early in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Oh, these are all my students. I was supposed to be at a class, and I sent an email to all of them that I won't be able to at this time because I have something to do. So sorry about that. So what I would do is, so we don't rejuvenate. You understand? We don't rejuvenate. Now, how many of us have gone to the spa in the last let me say 1 year? Just want to pamper yourself. And when I say pamper yourself, you just go there and say, hey, I want to do pedicure, manicure, I need massage, I need somebody I just want to pamper myself. That's rejuvenation. So now, what about relaxation technique? So the relaxation technique is when we just feel like, what are the things that you enjoy to do, you love to do? Just find a way, quiet place for you to be able to meditate. How many of us do that? Also, let's talk about the hobbies. How many of us, since most of us left high school, have we even tried to even join a fitness club? Maybe to play racket, maybe to play badminton, even table tennis, if that is your hobby. How many of us do, even at this time, enjoy our hobby? How many times do we spend time with nature? Even going out there, just sitting around in your backyard and just watch, just appreciate God, just look into the sky and say, hey, for God who made all these wonderful things, just think about it. Think about your life. Think about how things have been going on well for you. Think positively, not things that didn't go right with you. Just think positively. And the least but not the least on self-care, hydration. Most people, when we go out there, we drink soft drink, we call it soda. We drink soda from morning till night. How often do we drink water? And how do we know the importance of water in our system? Now let's talk about the physical health. Regular exercise. How many times have we even gone out there, or maybe as much money as we have, as we make? We can spend money on Ashwebi. We spend money on so many things. But guess what? How many people have even taken it into consideration to join a fitness club? How many people, even if you don't want to join a fitness club, how many people walk with purpose? You just walk around, hold your spouse, bring your children, say, hey, let's walk 2 miles. Take water with you, just for exercise, to rejuvenate the body and soul. How many of us do that? Balanced diet is another one. According to the way American nutrition wants it to be, we call it colorful. We want your food to be colorful. We want your food to have vegetables, fruits, dairy, everything that we eat every day. But how many people do, how many of us, even when we have the money, do we even practice that? Would some prefer to eat amala in the rice in the morning, amala in the afternoon, and in the evening, another carbohydrates. And we wonder why we have so much high blood pressure and diabetes rise in our society. Also, sufficient sleep. How much sleep do we get? In order to take care of our physical health, we need to get sufficient sleep. According to research, we're supposed to have 7 to 9 hours of sleep. How many of us, even as adults, do that? Most of us, we go to work in the morning, we work all day, and by the time we get home, it's about 11 o'clock. Then we sleep. 4 or 5 o'clock, we're up again. Even those who work those who live in the diaspora, how many of us do get 7 to 9 hours of sleep when we go from one job to another, forgetting that we're getting older? The more the older we get, the aging, the more our organs are aging. So how well are we caring for the organs? Think about the heart. Even when we are sleeping, our heart is not sleeping. So this is a machine God built in us that has been working since the day we were born. So think about it. What do we need to do to be like an oil change for our engine? That is sleep. And when we sleep, the heart is still working, but it slows down a little bit and is rejuvenating. Like now, seeking medical care. How many times have we gone to the hospital, even when we're sick? Most of us, we do self-diagnosis because we've been to the hospital. And unfortunately, our government in Nigeria, our country, they're not making it better. They have given access to medications that are supposed to be prescribed, like antibiotics. Everybody misuses antibiotics. Every little thing we want to use ampicillin. Everybody, you buy ampicillin. You buy all these antibiotics. Even for headache, people use antibiotics. Every little thing, I'm tired. Oh, please go to the store. Buy me Indoseed. Buy me this, buy me that. And when our body really needs it, when we're sick and we use these medications, they will not work because the body has built resistance to those medications. So those are the ways we can take care of our physical health. I'm trying to. Okay, mental health. I just want us to remember that our health is not complete without this. Our physical health is not complete without the mental and emotional health. Mental health, managing stress. How do we manage our stress? Do we, I've had friends who say they manage their stress by having sex. Well, if that helps you to relax you, so be it. Just make sure you're not jumping, you're not like a pig who can service 15 to 20 women and just to relax yourself. Be mindful that there is disease out there. So going from one to another, you can eventually catch a disease. Let's have this in mind. When you have one woman, and that woman, in reality, every man that woman have slept with, you're actually sleeping with them indirectly. So now, let's say you're very fortunate, you have a woman who is very faithful to you. Every woman that you have as a man out there, you have 2 girlfriends out there, and each of those girlfriends are sleeping with 3 different men. You're actually sleeping with those men as well. So remember that is not a good way of managing stress. But if you have a way of managing your stress, maybe connecting with nature, maybe taking a walk with your spouse, taking a walk around your house, or maybe whatever you can do to manage stress, please do that. Practicing mindfulness. So the thing is, practicing mindfulness has to do with meditation. It has about 7 different ways, which is meditation, mindful eating, mindful walking, body scan meditation, meditation, mindful listening, mindful observation, and also mindful breathing. You can do that. You can practice all that. Just make sure that you practice mindfulness. Cultivating possible social connections. This is what we're doing right now. We're connecting positively with each other. Make sure you develop meaningful relationship with friends, colleagues, or even some people that you know. Let's try to cultivate positive social connections. If you know someone is stressing you out, please stay away from stressors. You know you are in a relationship that stresses you out, find a way to get out of it. When I talk about this, I'm not talking about your marriage, because there is no marriage that is not stressful. One way or the other, you will have that marriage is 2 different people coming together to become one. So definitely that woman and you were raised in 2 different ways, and so you have 2 different lifestyles. But when you come together, you are now understanding each other and you can connect together. So please, but if you have any friend out there, you find yourself in a situation that is very stressful, please get yourself out. So let's find a way to cultivate positive social connections. Gratitude practices. Let's develop an habit to be grateful for the little that we have. So do not compare yourself to other people. Don't say because this person has achieved certain things at this level, and you start to regret your life. Let's be grateful for what you have. One of the greatest things that we have and that we're blessed with will be we're alive. When you are alive, there is hope. And also, you have good health. If God blesses you with good health, be grateful. There are so many, I see so many patients right now that those patients, when they come, they are millionaires. They can pay for every expense that I've had in my life. But guess what? I'm taking care of them. Almost every week they have to come see me so that I can manage their medications and see how they can live healthy, fulfilled life. So please, let's be grateful for the little that we have. Taking a break from technology. This is another problem that most of us have. Technology, as good as it is, technology can cause mental issues for us. Or some people, they glue to their phone from the beginning from when they wake up until night. Even when they're walking on the street, they glue to their phone. And that has even caused some problems in their marriages. Some people allow their children to just be in the rooms in technology. And they don't have the time. And even the parents are doing that. Let's talk about emotional health, developing emotional intelligence. So for this, you have to recognize your own emotions. You have to have self-awareness. You have to have empathy. You have to have some social skills. Practicing self-compassion. This one, you just have to know, like, you know what? How do I reward myself for what God has blessed me with? If you have money, eat well. If today you want to buy a shirt for $200, please do it. Reward yourself. Have self-compassion for how much you have worked. Seek professional support when needed. Please, when you're sick, make sure you do not self-diagnose, because when you catch any illness in the early stage, it is much easier to manage at that moment than for you to let it go further. Learn to say no to commitments that drain your energy. Please, when you have too much on your plate, learn how to say no. That is good for your emotional health. Do not engage yourself in commitment that will drain your energy. Prioritize yourself. Don't split yourself into too many areas. So please, let's do that for emotional health. Healthy habits. Establish routine for sleep. I talked about that earlier. Diet and exercise. Please, let's watch what we eat. Stress management, whatever you can do. Pharmacology use. A lot of us abuse medications. I said it earlier. We use too much medications, and some of these medications are not meant for what it is. Even for somebody who wants to use antibiotics. So when you have antibiotics and you have a gram-negative bacteria in your system, and you want to use gram-positive antibiotics for it, it's not going to work. The only thing it will do to you is your body will get used to that. And when your body gets used to that antibiotics that you're using for the wrong thing, when you really need it, maybe when you're sick, it will not work. I just have somebody who just lost a family member. The disease that the woman had was something that could be treated with antibiotics. But this particular person was using these antibiotics for something so little. But unfortunately, the antibiotics did not work. And the next thing, the family resorted into maybe one Femi. That's not true. But what happened was the medications the body is already used to the medication. So when she needed it, the medication did not work. And so that means for clinicians, we had to up the medications again, maybe by doses, or even had another antibiotics, so it will work a little bit. So please, let's make sure we live a healthy habit, in our life. Social connection. Cultivating and maintaining positive relationship with family, friends, and community members. This is what we're doing right now. Please make sure you do that for your social connection. This is very good for our well-being in this age. And let's remember, when we get to certain age, either we like it or not, at 60s, and those who are 70s, even when you get to 80, your social connection group will start to crumble a little bit. If you have 50 friends now, by the time we reach 70, 80, we might only have about 50 to 20 alive. And so as we get older, our social connections continue to get smaller. So right now, let's continue to build a good relationship and maintain positive relationship with our family, especially our wives and our children. They're very important. Even though we want to have it with our children, but with our spouse, this is very, very important. Because remember, when the children go their ways and they have their own families, your spouse is there. That's the person that you will have that you can talk to, even fight with. Having somebody to fight with in the house helps mentally. It helps us mentally. Somebody to argue with. You understand? When I say fight, I'm not talking about physical fight. I'm talking about argument. You have argument. It's even healthy. You have argument, but make sure you find a way to reconcile in a timely manner. Avoidance of stressful issues with spouse or living partners. So to those who are married, congratulations. Please make sure you avoid stressful issues. And to those who have living partners, please make sure you maintain, you avoid the stressful issues with them. As much as you can avoid anything that will stress your life, please do so. And now, for those of us who are in our 50s, you can take a picture of this. When you go to your doctors, please, these are the tests that you need at this time of your life. You need, these are the lab work. What I've observed is some doctors, except if you tell them, some of these things are very expensive, they are expensive, but there's nothing as expensive as your life and as our health. When you have problem with any of this, let me tell you something, it costs so much money to maintain it. But if you start at this age in your 50s, I can guarantee you, if there is a problem, it can be caught on time. Okay? And I will give you a good example. My own father. My father just turned 80. Just a few weeks, all his life, I've always been saying, Daddy, I'm in medical field. I can do this. Even the same thing with two of my siblings. We ask my dad all the time, Dad, let's do this, let's do that. No. Okay, until a few months ago, 2 months ago, it became a little sick. And even when he was sick, he continued to mask it up to say, oh, he was fine, until I decided, being the first child of the family, I asked the doctor to please just come with an ambulance and get him to the hospital. Then we talk about the blood work and everything. Come to realize, I'm glad I paid attention. His prostate was beginning to give him problem, and this man was hiding it from me. So if nothing is done when you have prostate issue as a man, if nothing is done, please don't use agbo. It's a lie. I can tell you, I do medical mission every single year in Nigeria. In June, I'll be in Nigeria by special grace of God in 2 weeks. I do it every year in different parts of Nigeria. Agbo does not work. It's a lie. Don't let anybody lie to you. I've seen it. I've tested it with people. It doesn't work. Because when you have prostate issue and it's caught on time, it's either your prostate is enlarged, and when it's enlarged, there are medications that will shrink it again. So when that is done, you're good again. But if nothing is done, that enlarged prostate can eventually lead to prostate cancer if nothing is done about it. So please, you can take a picture of this. When you go to your doctors, just tell your doctors you would love to do this test. There is nothing in your body that this will not pick up. If there is any problem in your body, in your system, by the time your doctor finish all this blood work, something will show in your system, especially when it comes to your kidney and liver function. That will tell a lot. Please make sure, even for this depression screening, please make sure. And number one killer for Black people is the heart disease. And so many things can cause heart disease. Then also, especially blood pressure can cause it. And also when you do your A1C, that is your sugar to check you for diabetes. So just please make sure. And if you have your wives, when they are over 50, women only, at the bottom, I say pap smear and mammogram. For PSA at the top, women do not have prostate. So, but they can check them for mammogram and pap smear. Also, just want everybody to know, men can have breast cancer as well. Okay, so when you feel like you're feeling any kind of fullness in your chest, because men do have breast cancer, it's just not as common as women. So when you start to feel certain way by your breast, and you feel like maybe you press your breast and some liquid is coming out as men, please make sure you go to your doctor and demand that they do mammogram for you as a man, because men can have it, but it's only 1 or 2% among men with breast cancer. But women do pap smear. That's when they check their cervix and they see, because they can have cancer in their cervix. So please, let's make sure this is very important for men over 50 and above. And for men in their late 60s and 70s, the blood work is a little bit different from those in 50s. Everything in those 50s plus what I have on here, you will see some of them are very similar, like hemoglobin A1C. They check it for 50s and 60s. The only time you would need to check all this earlier, like in the 30s or 40s, is if you have in the history in your family. If you have family members who are diabetic, as parents, if you are diabetic, please make sure your children are checked every year, especially once they reach the age of 30. They need to check them. If you as a father, if you have diabetes. So, but once you are in your 70s, these are the blood work that you need to do. Once you do this, I can guarantee you 99% of the time, if anything is wrong in your body, it will come out. The doctor will know. So it's always better to be proactive with our health than to not to do anything. And when it gets to the end stage, you spend more money in end stage than to prevent the disease from happening. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please, you can ask.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fajinmi.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think if we were to summarize, the main thrust of his talk was prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
Let us be data-driven with our health, regular annual checkups. Also, physical health is tied very much into mental health. I also learned a lot. I have listened. This is my second or third time of listening to him. And each time I pick something new, something different, something enlightening. So if there are any questions, either for Dr. Fajinmi or for our first speaker, the floor is open. If you could indicate by raising your hand or just go ahead and unmute and talk.
Hello, sir.
We take questions.
Good evening once again.
Patricia.
Good evening, sir.
We can hear you. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. Mr. President, good evening. VP Diaspora, every executive and patricians here. Dr. Toyin, God bless you, sir. You said a lot, and that was a whole lot of wealth of experience in your field. You took words out of my mouth. There is something really scary. You know, medically, they say men in their 40s upward are always prone to prostate. Is this thing preventable? And if yes, what could one do? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So yes, it is preventable and sometimes not preventable. It is preventable if you do not have a family history. Now, if in the family you have women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, so the same gene in women that causes breast cancer is the same gene that gives men prostate cancer. So if you have anybody in the family who have ever been diagnosed with a breast cancer, especially immediate family, maybe mother, sister, first cousins, then please be aware that prostate cancer, then just make sure you are very proactive about checking for your prostate cancer. And at this time, they don't even need to. In the past, we used to use our finger and put it in the people's anus. Now they don't need that anymore. It's blood work. The same blood work they check for everything else is what it's going to be. Now it is that's when it's not really preventable, but you can actually still prevent it because you can do certain things. Heal healthily, exercise, okay? If possible, take vitamins, okay, which is good. And the most important part, which a lot of people, especially us men, we talk about it, is sex. Because what you don't use, you lose. The more you have sex, I think the better chances that you don't get you don't get prostate cancer. So because what happens is prostate plays a very important part in our procreation. So when we have intimacy, the prostate will secrete some kind of juice. That juice is what is going to mix with our sperm. Men produce sperm from the scrotum. It's like almost like in a powder form. So whatever the juice that is secreted from the prostate, it mixes with the sperm and it becomes semen. So semen, even though we use sperm as a general term, sperm will now become a child. It doesn't have cell. But the water that is being secreted from the prostate mixed with the sperm is what is going to become semen, and that is what can impregnate a woman. So the thing is, eat well. If possible, I will advise that you wear boxer brief instead of brief, because boxer brief is, makes you lose a little bit, but brief kind of squeeze the scrotum together. It's not really good. It's been proven that it's not really good. So eat healthy, exercise. When I say eat healthy, fruits, vegetables, very good for our system. So then if you really want to really work on it, if you go to the store and say you want buy multivitamin for prostate, it's good. You can buy one, just one per day or one in 2 days. That's good. It's going to help prevent any kind of prostate cancer. Did I answer your question?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Please, can I? Okay.
My president, go ahead, sir.
All right. Ayo Iwani, thanks. So, doctor, I'm
Yes,
really very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know how closely you have been associated with the Alumni Association before now. But I want to believe that after this moment, after this time, you will get much more involved in the activities of the Alumni Association. We actually have a large pool of so many talented people, so many professionals that are doing well in different fields, but they are not really coming over to lend the school, to give back to the school the way we'll expect. I know that one of the benefits of these programs is that, yes, here is an alumnus that is doing so well, that even visits Nigeria on a medical mission from time to time. I hope one of these days you also make yourself available to come and talk to the students of St. Patrick's, encourage them along the medical line, so we look forward to that. But to my question, I know that there are some diseases or ailments that have some common symptoms. One example is frequent urination, and it has been linked to, sometimes they link to diabetes, sometimes it's linked to, what do they call it? They even say prostate, enlarged prostate, and sometimes they say it's, if one has a diseased kidney, that it could also lead to frequent. How do you determine what is what? Which one is your case? That's one. Two, I used to believe that I am diabetic, but everywhere I go, yes, they say you are in borderline. You are not it's not a bad case. It's manageable. Change your lifestyle. Do this, and I've done a lot of that, and I've seen results in terms of, I check my blood sugar almost on every other day, and the results I get, they are very impressive. But the last time I went for the general checkup, my doctor just suddenly came up with this AIC, which you mentioned just now. I don't know whether it's HbA1c or something.
A1C.
Yes, he now said that it is high. Even when I go to his clinic, my sugar level was very low. It was impressive, which he commended. Only for him to now give me the summary of the report after sending to lab tests and everything, and said that it is high because your AIC is this. So I became a bit confused that this, he was trying to explain that the AIC measures over a longer period of time. It's not just an ad hoc kind of measurement. But I get a bit, yeah. Hello. So I get a bit confused. Maybe you can educate me more along these lines that I've tried to investigate or interrogate.
Okay, Daddy. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So let me start with the second question. So the second question is about the blood sugar. So anytime you go to the doctors, what the doctor would do is random blood sugar check. So which means you may have eaten about 2 hours ago, you may have eaten 5 hours ago. That will be picked up by the machine, due to sensitivity of the machine that will be used. So what the doctor is checking you for when you go to the doctor's office is random blood sugar. That one is not 100% accurate. That one is just to say, hey, we check your sugar, and if it is too high, that means he's giving the doctor a heads up, like something is not right somewhere. Then the doctor will now go for fasting blood sugar check. And that is when the doctor will tell you, say, sir, if you're coming tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock, make sure the last time you eat is 10 p.m. like the previous night. So what that does is the A1C will check for 3 months, 120 days. Let's say 4 months. That's 120 days is 3 months, yes. So it will check for an average of what your sugar has been in your body. So our body is designed in a way that it stores so much. So now when you do the A1C, it will give the doctor the average of what your sugar level has been for the last 120 days. That one is the 100% accurate. That one is 100% accurate to say you are diabetic or you are not diabetic. So what I believe your doctor look at, for when we look at A1C, and your A1C is 4.5 to 5.9, you're good. That means you don't have diabetes. But the moment we check and your blood sugar and your A1C is 6.0 to 6.4, it means you are borderline. Borderline means if you do the right thing, you will go back to the green area. If you keep doing what you're doing, you will become fully diabetic. So that is when, I believe that was when your doctor asked you to do lifestyle changes. So when you say lifestyle changes, if you drink, don't drink anymore. Some people think, oh, all I do is I drink wine, some drink ogogoro, if you drink alcohol, stop it. Forget about red wine or anything. Some people say, yeah, definitely research says red wine is good, but it's good when you are healthy. So if you drink, don't drink. If you smoke, don't smoke anymore. If you don't sleep well, don't sleep. If you don't sleep well, now incorporate that into your system whereby you will get enough rest. And the last but not the least, also, don't let me say that. Exercise is another one too. Then the last one is your diet. Eliminate carbohydrates. Eba, amala, eat bread, issue, inyo, anything carbohydrates, because almost all the food that we eat has carbohydrates already. So now when you have more carbohydrates into your diet, that means you have more sugar in your system, because eventually that's what carbohydrates will turn to when you don't use it, when you don't exercise. So your body will only take what it needs, the rest becomes starch, and eventually will become sugar, and that will stay in the bloodstream. When it stays in the bloodstream, if you exercise will help to bring it into your cells to use as energy. But if that is not the case, then the sugar stays in your blood. And that means you are fully diabetic. And when you are diabetic, at that time, it depends on what part of the world you are. The most medication the doctors will give will be like metformin, or some will call it glucophage, whereby that will help to reduce your blood sugar. It will help to pull your sugar from the blood into your cell for you to be able to use. That is for that question. The second question is how to know like what kind of disease, because most of the diseases have similar symptoms. Sir, you will not know until you go to the doctors. So, like I said earlier, by the time the doctor run all the lab work, they do all the lab work, because there are differences. Once you go to the doctor and say, I want a complete check, there are so many that we have lab work that will check your liver, the one that will check your heart, the one that will check your electrolytes. By the time the doctor finish doing all this, they will be able to tell what exactly is wrong. Just like you said, some of them have similar symptoms, but you will not know until you go to the doctors and they run the test. And in the test, that test will point to where the doctor needs to start to look at. Did I answer your question, sir?
Thank you very much. You did. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. I have
had a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My question, I have about 3 questions and I'll be fast about them. One, it has to do with this prostate cancer. Prostate. They say when you are over 40, you are likely to have it. Somebody said it, confirmed what I have heard about it and all that. Okay. And I want to ask, what are the symptoms? Yes, I've also heard that when you have sex continually, from time to time, you are likely to have it a situation whereby it's reduced. You don't get to have prostate and all that. But I have a wife who she doesn't, except I say let us do, she doesn't like to do.
Side chick, look here. Side chick.
Nobody is going to give you license here.
Side chick, look here.
I can't remember the last time in the last 20 years that, in the last 18 years that she has said, oh, let's do. No. It's always, so I always feel like, so for cover mini, and all that. Always ask for this now so that we can do. So my basic question in regards to that is, what are the symptoms of prostate? That's one. 2, I tend to think that ulcer is a major thing that I've been battling with, and I think it's because of skipping food and all that. I can get myself involved in work for a very long time. I would not think about food, but when I started having ulcer and became so disturbing for me, I now, when I wake up in the morning, I make sure I eat before 7. But then, from time to time, the symptoms still come back. I still have challenges. I've stopped taking cimetidine. I've stopped taking all those stuff, but I've been trying to manage. But sometimes I have pains, serious pains and all that. How do you deal with ulcer permanently that it doesn't come, apart from what I've said? Then the third question, yes, erectile dysfunction among men over 40. I noticed that the way I used to, you understand, be very strong, the thing has reduced. Sometimes I get in hard, and after whatever the thing I sometimes I feel she's not complaining, it's not bothered, but I feel, am I not having problem? And I don't like all these agbos. Some people have said, fine, use this. If you use it, you get strong and all that. I don't like to use anything external, because I also understand that when you take all those things, because you don't have dosage, it can affect your kidney and start having issues and all that. So I don't want to kill myself and all that. So I avoid it. And I don't like to take all those orthodox stuff too. Then they will show you, they say, if you take it, you'll be strong and all those stuff. So most times, when I realize that what I mean is strong, I avoid it. So erectile dysfunction, how do you manage it? I'm close to 50. How do you manage it?
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go over the 3 questions. The symptoms of prostate. The first one is painful urination. When you go to the bathroom and it's like you feel pain from inside coming out, that's one of the signs of prostate. Second one is weak urine flow. You remember, as a child, when you put a child, like maybe 10 years old, you will take them to the bathroom. When they urinate, their urine can go like this. It will go up and come down. It can go up and down. So what I want you to do is, for you to know, stand about 4 or 5 feet away from the toilet and try to go. If you can aim in that bathroom, in that toilet, if you can aim inside, your prostate is good. Now, if most of the urine is like on the floor, then there is a problem with your prostate. When you can go straight, that means your prostate is good because it opens up. But when you start to have enlarged prostate, so the urine doesn't flow as it used to. So that will be the sign for you to know that there is a problem with the prostate. Then you can go. Then if you go to the bathroom, you feel like you need to go, you're running to the bathroom, and you get there and you urinate, and you urine, but you can feel in your system that there is still urine in your bladder, but nothing is coming out. Then that's a sign, another sign for prostate. Then when you sit down and you see urine dripping from your penis, then definitely that is an enlargement of prostate. So with those four what is it called, symptoms, you know, when you talk to the doctor know what to look for. Then the doctor knows to do your blood work to look at your prostate level. So once your prostate level is up, then your doctor would likely ask you to go for a scan, or before they ask you to go for a scan, the doctor will give you some medication, because any doctor would know definitely this is a prostate issue. You have enlarged prostate. Then the doctor will know if it's enlarged or it has gone into cancerous level based on the level of that number, because everything we deal with in medicine is number. So when the doctor look at your number, if your number is very low, maybe up to like 7, 8, 9, 10, the doctor said, okay, this is definitely an enlarged prostate. We'll give you medication, and that medication will shrink it, and you'll begin to flow as normal. That's it. And the doctor will ask you to come back. But when the doctor is checking, and now the doctor is looking at something like about 800, 900 in your number, then he knows this might need surgery. So by that time, the doctor says, wow, we need to do surgery for you and take out your prostate. So that is, then when the doctor is looking and the doctor is seeing like about 15,000, then you know definitely there's some kind of cancer. So that's how to deal with the prostate. So, but if you go for regular checkup and your doctor is checking your PSA, that's what the doctor will check for prostate. If your doctor is checking your PSA level, the doctor will catch it. It will know. But the problem is we don't go for regular checkup, and a lot of times when there's a problem issue, we talk among our friends, and our friends will say, don't worry, let me give you one agbo. Once you use the agbo, because of the psychological effect, it may work at that time, but the problem remains there. And in about 2 years from that time, that prostate enlargement may have now become prostate cancer. And the moment somebody has a prostate cancer, if it's not taken care of, it goes straight into the bone, into the pelvic area bone. Once it gets into the bone, that is it. That is it. That's answered the first question. The second question is ulcer. Ulcer, unfortunately, most of us believe that ulcer is caused by maybe fasting or not eating. That is not true. Ulcer is caused by 4 different things. The first one is by bacteria. that is called H. pylori. That is the main cause of ulcer. It's a bacteria that gets into our system, and that bacteria, the bacteria is supposed to remain in the gut, but once it gets out to the stomach, definitely it can cause ulcer. And when it causes ulcer, the only way you can deal with it is for your doctor to give you antibiotics. The second part could be when you are not eating well. That is the part of fasting. But the majority of ulcer, that 90% of the ulcer is caused by bacteria. So 5% is caused by us not eating at the right time, fasting. So then about 3% is caused by all the medications that we take. That one in Nigeria is paracetamol. Paracetamol is the number one enemy, but most of the people use it on a daily basis. That causes ulcer. So that's 3%. The remaining 2% will be like the things that you talk about that guys use to say alomo, afato, afa this one, afa that one, all those concoctions that we drink, because they are made of different things. Some of them have chemicals in it. About last year, I saw some guy, I saw an Aboki guy, I saw a video of an Aboki guy selling things that people drink, and they put it on a styrofoam, and it melts the styrofoam just like acid. How can people be drinking things like that? So we may have minute of those things in the things that we drink. And let's think about it. What would that do? If it can melt a plastic, what do we think is going to do to our own body? It's going to cause wound. Wound is what we call ulcer. And that it can happen in different parts of our inside. So those are the 4 things that cause ulcer. So the first one, 90% of the ulcer that we have is by bacteria. The second one is, then also we have by fasting or not eating on time, because our body is producing hydrochloric acid that breaks down the food, and there is no food to react with, so it starts to hit the lining of the stomach. That is only 5% to make it 95%. Then 3% is coming from antipyretic use, which is like paracetamol that we have. It will cause then paracetamol, aspirin that we take for everything that goes wrong with us. We take those. They cause ulcer. And the last but not the least, all these things that we drink everywhere. This is good, drink it. That is good, drink it. So those are the things that cause ulcer. So the best way to treat the ulcer, number one, your doctor's supposed to do blood work first. Not because you say your stomach is hurting, then your doctor say, you have ulcer, so you know what, just start taking Gelusil, start taking this, start taking that. No, your doctor's supposed to find out what is the cause of that ulcer. And the best way to do it, the doctor's supposed to check for H. pylori bacteria. If you come back with negative H. pylori in your blood work, then the doctor will say, okay, we'll ask you questions about everything that I said. And from that assessment question, the doctor will be able to determine what is the problem, which of the other 3 is the cause. And that's when you can use all those Gelusil and everything that will work. Otherwise, if H. pylori is the cause of your ulcer, you can use Gelusil as much as you want. It will just, for that moment, get you well. Eventually, you will get sick again because the bacteria that is causing it is still there. That is for the ulcer issue. For the erectile dysfunction, number one, let's do something. I want every one of us to know that once your wife is over 45, okay, don't forget they become low in their hormones as well. So, and by the time they get to their 50s, it gets to a point when they may not even have hormones that make them have period anymore. Once a woman doesn't have period, that is a problem. Their desire for sex will become lower. So what you will see more, she will become dry. Instead of now, when you were younger, you touch your wife, she's wet, she's no longer going to be wet. She's going to be dry. So if you have sex with her at that moment, you may hurt her. Okay, she may be wounded. So then also their desire for intimacy becomes very low. So it doesn't matter, either you come or you don't want, either you come onto them or you don't come to them. They don't think about sex as much at that moment. So for your wife, just make sure that she sees an OBGYN to make sure she's not in early menopause, because she's still having period doesn't mean she's not getting to that level. You know, I've seen women who have gone into menopause at 33. So we cannot say because, oh, maybe she's 45 or something, or she's not in menopause yet, and because she's having period. No, there are things that the OBGYN doctor will check to make sure that she is okay. Then for men, so many things can cause it too. For men, number one, as we age, our testosterone level becomes lower, and testosterone is our sex hormone. So the more your testosterone gets lower, the more you don't even have in mind for sex. Some men, even they will get hard, but they will not get hard the way they used to. They will get hard enough for penetration, but not hard enough the way they will feel like they used to feel like a rock. They will not feel like that. And some men, even in the middle of the show, they will get soft. All this is because of our low testosterone. So there are treatments for testosterone. Number one, go to the gym. Okay? When you build muscle, you know, you don't have to build like a bodybuilder, but work on your muscles. Your muscles usually produce hormones that will help testosterone to increase. It helps. So when you have muscle, tighten your muscle up. It helps to produce this hormone of testosterone, and that is good for sex. Also, another thing is stress. We have too much stress, okay? That can affect manhood, that we will not even want to have sex, even when you want to, when you, in your mind, you really want to, but your body doesn't want to. So then also remember, men, we do have hormonal imbalance. Like I said, low testosterone level. The imbalance, it can lead to erectile dysfunction. And also medication. Unfortunately, there's some medications for prostate that can help, some prostate medication can make man have erectile dysfunction. And some certain medication for blood pressure too can make men have erectile dysfunction. So when you have this, please talk to your doctor. Okay, medication can cause it. Even when you have high blood pressure, it can cause it. When you have depression, some of these medications, not the depression itself, it can cause it. And the big one that can cause erectile dysfunction is diabetes. That's number one thing, because diabetes is a systemic infection, systemic disease. Systemic disease because it can affect all part of our body. It can affect the brain, it can affect our eyes, it can affect, our limbs, because there may be insufficiency of blood flow, and they can eventually cut it off. Then also for men, it can make a man impotent. So when you start to have all this issue, please go to the doctors. Make sure you relieve your stress level. Make sure you eat well, you exercise. If this still continue, then you need to go see the doctor to check you for or other hormonal imbalance, to check your testosterone, to check for diabetes. They can do that. And to make sure you do not have any vascular. issue, because vascular means like the veins in the body, it carries blood to every part of our body. So when people have vascular issue, what makes our penis hard is the blood from the heart. That is the reason why after intimacy, our hearts beat very fast. Because at the time when we are having sex, our heart is short of blood. That blood is what makes the penis hard. So when there is a vascular problem, that means the blood is not flowing to the penis the way it's supposed to flow. And that's one of the reasons why before the doctors will give you Viagra or they will give you any medication that will help you to have sex, they will always check for your heart to make sure your heart is in good condition. And that's another reason why most of the time we see guys drink all these crazy things that they drink and they die on a woman. Or as soon as they finish, they pass out and that is the end of their life. Just because what makes the penis hard comes from the heart. And also, I just want us to know, if you have anyone, any woman who is telling you, go deeper, go faster, please get rid of that woman. That's number one. The woman is trying to kill you. Normally, your sex life should not be more than 8 minutes. From foreplay until you finish the show, 8 minutes. That is what is pleasurable. That is what is good for the heart. Remember what I said earlier. The blood that makes the penis hard comes from the heart. So you don't want to deprive the heart of blood flow for too long. Some blood is still going through the heart, but majority of the blood, half of the blood that's supposed to go to the heart, has been pulled to the penis to get the penis hard. So when you deprive the heart for too long, it's not good. So 4 to 8 minutes, that's good for any sexual enjoyment. Did I answer your question, sir?
I think
Sir, you did, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I have a question, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Tapper.
Okay.
Mr. Shogo, can we give go ahead. I think Bade Yonka
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
had a question, but he dropped
Okay.
off. Go ahead, Shogo.
Okay, sir. Thank you, doctor. There's a particular question Tapere asks about you talked about sex that it helps to prevent or avoid chance of prostate.
Yes.
And it talked about maybe his own wife who is not really into that. And maybe his question is that is there a way out to help with that? And President talked about side chick. So maybe that so that's one. Then secondly, is about this issue of it's about this issue of knee pain in mostly women. I know some men do have it, but most women I know they used to have knee problem, especially when they get to certain age. But for those that have not had that, is there a way to start preventing it at this time so that maybe when they get to that age, they won't have that problem? Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me quickly answer the previous question about the about my friend whose wife is not really into that.
Dr. Toyin,
yes.
I would like Bade Yonka Taufik to ask his question. His hand has been raised for a while, but
okay,
network issues. Bade Yonka, can you hear us? I see you are here now.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you for the privilege. Dr. Toyin, I would like to first commend you. This is wonderful. Thank you, and God will continue to perfect your ways.
Amen.
First and foremost, based on the last question being asked, my question has been divided into 3 parts. The last one would be a bit diversified from the topic. But the first one goes thus. when you talked about the sexual intercourse that's supposed to reduce the causes of the prostates, from the female perspective, apart from having constant sexual intercourse, what are the ways we can prevent this prostrate among our wives? Then also, we are men as well, in as much as possible that, nowadays, if you ask most household, because you talked about carbohydrates the other time, when we get to above that 40 years, larger percentage or 90 to 95% of each household, most especially in Nigeria, not in diaspora like Mr. Wale and you as probably, the best food we normally eat in our various houses now is carbohydrates. Apart from eating all these carbohydrates and everything, what are the ways we can prevent this prostate cancer? This prostate rather. That's one. Two, the issue of this, we are now in technological age now. Is there probably AI? Because we've been hearing about AI. Is there any AI app that can help us to maintain our health status in terms of any diseases that you can recommend for us to start working with? Then the third one is this issue of HP virus, hepatitis B. I have a family member who has this disease. What are the things that you can recommend probably to prevent for those who have not having, who don't have the virus, or those who are having virus, they can use to prevent, to longevity of their life, kind of. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me quickly start with you said it's hepatitis B, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so hepatitis B is a bloodborne virus, HBV. So it is it is the same way the same way people contact HIV is the same way they contact it, either through blood transfusion, either through sex, or either through needle use, using the same kind of needle. So those are the three ways you can contact it. However, to those who don't have it, there is vaccination out there for it. So if you go tell the person, those who don't have it, I'm just going to share it down, go to your doctors and say you want to get hepatitis B vaccine. You have 3 series. You get the first one, and I think they will ask you to come back in about 4 weeks for the second one, and the third one will be in about 6 months. So you have it in 3 series, but that is going to prevent. To those who have it, there is no cure yet, but it can be managed. And the way it can be managed is that person must have a good relationship with their primary care, which is their doctor. Because there are medications that person may need to be taken for the rest of his or her life. Okay? But I can tell you right now that there is green light coming up. The reason is because for hepatitis C, which was deadlier than B, though contracted the same way, there is a cure for hepatitis C now. So there is hope that very soon there's going to be a cure for hepatitis B. But for now, the person just needs to make sure whenever the person gets sick, go to the doctors, don't self-diagnose, so the doctor can take care of what actually is wrong. Because the end result of that is liver damage of B and C. The liver damage is the end result of those who have it. So that is in that aspect. Those who don't have it and those who already have it can be taken care of. Tell them to go to the doctors on time whenever they get sick. Don't do self-diagnosis. Eat well and exercise. I will tell you, exercise is, you can't go wrong. So in the case of, I think you said something about exercise as well, about aging. Okay, let me talk. Okay, no, arthritis. I think somebody said something about arthritis because I wrote all of them down. I didn't write them in sequence. So yeah, there are a few things that can cause somebody to have knee issue. Number one is aging. As we age, don't forget our body parts, they are now getting younger. They're aging with us too. We just need to do things that will rejuvenate them, that will take care of our body parts. So aging is one of them. That can cause knee problem. Number two, injuries. Some of us, we've had injury, maybe playing very hard when we were younger. For women, it's possible. Sometimes some people had accident 25, 30 years ago, and they believe it was just an accident because they can walk straight. They think everything is okay. Unfortunately, past injury to the leg or to the knee can actually cause, future injuries when we get older. Also, overuse can cause it. Those who grew up walking from a gate to Bere when they were younger, but now things has changed. God has answered the prayers. They don't have to do that anymore. It does not mean the past problem will not translate to what they are going through now. Overuse. Most of us, I remember some of us, while I was in St. Patrick's, I was closer, my house was next to Loyola College. But because my dad wanted to punish me from when I left the seminary, he sent me to St. Patrick's. Now with St. Patrick's, my parents will give me money to take the public transportation. But just because I wanted to save that money for my own use or to entertain girls when they come over, because parents will not give you money to entertain girlfriend at that age. So I wanted to save the money. I will walk from Loyola to St. Patrick's. You can imagine how much overuse I put on myself. All that can translate to what I'm feeling right now. And the last but not the least, genetics. Some people have arthritis. If your mom, your dad have a history of arthritis, there is every possibility that the daughters will have it. Osteoarthritis is very, very common. Then also our body weight. Okay, if it's somebody that is very thin, I would say, for the doctor to check that person for arthritis, because arthritis can be anywhere. You can even have arthritis in your shoulder. You can have arthritis in your knee. You can have it on your ankle, your elbow, your wrist. Even it could be inside, like your fingers. Anywhere there is joint, there can be arthritis. So if that person is large in size, I would say lose weight first. But if the person is a thin person, I would say go to the doctors to work that person up for arthritis. And that is one of the problems. We know some people have osteoporosis. Some will have arthritis, osteoarthritis. There are different kinds that women can have. So I would tell the person to go to the doctor so that the doctor can check. If it's osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, there may not be anything that cannot be cured. Over here, what we do is we do knee replacement. The doctor will do knee replacement. They will take everything that is in there and put like a plastic or a metal, put it in the knees, and after 6 weeks, the person is walking just like anybody else, and they will never feel that again. So that's what we do here. But if it's in Nigeria, it will likely be pain medicine. Pain medicine, and we tell the person, please rest your foot. Don't walk too much. That's what we would do. Then I think there was another question. I know I didn't answer all the question, but I know there was something.
The other question was alternative to where if Madam is not interested.
Okay, so now If Madam is not interested, I will tell you this, is you. You are the cause. And the reason is because women, when they get to a certain age, like I said earlier, their body is not really into it anymore. So you have to look at the conditions that will make Madam get back in the mood. The first one is she stressed? Not only about you, about the children, about our job. Because women, see, for us men, we can go out there now, see a woman with a big breast, see a beautiful woman, see a woman with a big behind, and we get hard. Women are emotionally attached before their body can move for intimacy. Except those who are doing it for money, or you understand, those who are out there prostitutes, they believe that is their job. For women, married women, responsible married women, you have to connect their emotions to their body. Men, our body can work independently. So you will find a way to get your woman in the mood. If she's the kind of person, if she wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to work, come back home, cook, take care of home, do everything, support her. Honey, if you can drive to work, say, can I drive you to work? Okay, I will pick you up. Let me leave work on time, come home. Let me see how I can help her to cook for the family. Let me help her with the house chores. She wants to wash clothes. Let me stay with her. Oh, I should take this. Let me take this with you. Let's relieve the pressure that we put on our women and decrease the stress in their lives. And we see our body will move. Because they have two components that work together. Mind, let me say mind, emotions, and brain connects with their physical body for them to want, for their body to get moved to want to be intimate. But when they are too stressed based on work life, it's not good for them. Their body shuts down. They are completely unlike us men, that we can go out there and see big bottom woman and we say, oh my God, I wish I bounced on that girl. And by you thinking about it, boom, you get hot as a man. Women are completely different. Their emotions are connected to their body. So let's try that first. But other than that, I will not say side chick, like the vice president said. I wouldn't advise that, because the side chick, unfortunately, has somebody else too. You're married, you cannot be there for this side chick 24/7. Eventually, she probably will have another guy. And another guy will probably have another girlfriend too. So see, when one have some kind of disease, see how much you can transfer the disease until it gets to your wife. So I would definitely not be an advocate for side chicks. If it works well, it's okay. You know, I've gone to seminars whereby people have said it, like medically, it's good, it's okay to, it's supposed to. You, like men, we're not wired to be one man, one woman. That would be if you are up all the time. But if you are the kind of person that, hey, you're not like you want to do it 2-3 times in a day, and your wife cannot handle that, I will not advise you to have side chick, though it is good mentally. That's all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fajinmi. This has been really interesting on all sides. We see how health, medical is connected to every single thing. We've the last few minutes have almost been like a marriage counseling session. But thank you, greatly appreciate you. In the interest of time, I know we are way over our allocated time, and we appreciate all who have stayed on from the very beginning up until now, and even those who have data connection issues still going in and out. They're still trying to go on. So while we might not have a large number of participants, I see solid interest from the people who are connected, and I hope we can drive this energy with the larger alumni body going forward. So now we'll move to vote of thanks. Just to wrap things up, we'll have the Welfare Secretary, Mr. Isaka Akinwale, to give the vote of thanks. We appreciate you all, including the speakers, as well as every member who have stayed on for so long. Mr. Akinwale, you may, sir.
Wow, but a great opportunity for the patricians that were able to attend this webinar. On behalf of the national president of this great alumni, Patricia and I Chief Ayo Alukolokun, the other National Executive Committee members, and the entire patricians across the globe, home and diaspora, we appreciate our erudite presenters for this great, lecture, so to say, and counseling they've actually done. Really, like National President said, that we have assets in St. Patrick's. These two doctors are just little amongst the host of others that we have. We appreciate you. You've done a great job on the pedigree by Dr. Femi Akinwale, as well as this medical team done by Dr. Toyin Fajinmi. Oh, God bless you. And I hope when next we have this kind of webinar, we have large house and more members will participate. We thank every participant for this for attending this webinar. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. We will share the slides as well as a recording of this if you want to review later. As I said, this will be the first of many. We hope to have bigger draw from our talent pool as much as possible, as well as have greater participation with the greater alumni members. Thank you all. I think we can end the session for today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Mr.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you all.
Thank you for the good night.